Either we are there or not, ITSPmagazine still gets the best stories. There are plenty of conferences and all sorts of events that spark our curiosity and allow us to start conversations with some of the world's brightest minds. In person or virtually, we sit down with them at the intersection of technology, cybersecurity, and society. Together, we discover what the synergy of these three elements means for the future of humanity. Knowledge is power, now more than ever. CrowdSec, the collaborative and open source cybersecurity solution. Analyze behaviors, respond to attacks, and share signals across the community for free. Let's make the internet safer together. Learn more at crowdsec.net.
EdgeScan offers continuous vulnerability intelligence as a service, accurately identifying vulnerabilities and exposures across the full stack. All threats are verified by cybersecurity experts, providing exploitable risk and remediation guidance, virtually false positive free. Learn more at edgescan.com.
Pantera, the leader in automation security validation, allows organizations to continuously test the integrity of all cybersecurity layers by emulating real-world attacks at scale to pinpoint the exploitable vulnerabilities and prioritize remediation towards business impact. Learn more at www.pantera.io.
Live with proper signals.
With proper signals and with what I believe to be the real Chloé Messdaghi and the real Phillip Wylie. Are you the one we think you are?
No deepfakes here?
No deepfakes. Granted, there might be a clone of me walking around.
Interviewing someone else right now.
It's possible.
We get the real one. We get the real one.
With as much as she does, she really needs to clone herself.
Oh yeah. Listen who is talking, right? This is coming from you. Every time I open Twitter, it's like, hey, look at me. Selfie. Hey, I just talked here. I'm like, how many of you? No, it's so good to see you going around and enjoy this comeback to the real conference. Although I know you've done many before, but this is summer camp.
Level.
Phillip, yes. How does it feel to be back?
It feels good because you go to like RSA, you saw some friends there, but most of the people like in Chloe and my circles aren't really so much the people there, but you get to Hacker Summer Camp and you run into a lot of friends and international friends. It was really kind of cool. Had a really cool moment yesterday. A couple of my friends that I've kind of helped mentor and stuff, I was able to introduce them to Jim Easterly yesterday, and it kind of really made their day. And it's been a lot of fun. I just got to see a lot of people from the very beginning and constantly, luckily, running into just about everyone that I was wanting to catch up with.
Yeah. And you're inspiring so many people too. So I'm sure.
I know.
As you are happy to see certain people, many people are very happy to get to meet you in person as well. So amazing.
Yeah, it's great to
job.
really get to meet those people that you don't know that you get to meet, that's read the book or listens to the podcast and that sort of thing. So it's always great. You know, you do this stuff and you think, why do I keep doing this? But then once you meet those people, it's like, yeah, this is why I do it.
Yeah. Absolutely. For those who are watching us, probably because they're not there with you, why I have a feeling I've been there and I've experienced the transition from Black Hat to DEF CON and what that feels like. Can you, and maybe your perspective too, Chloe? I know we touched on it briefly yesterday, but Phil, your perspective first. What's that transition like? Black Hat Con to DEF CON.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's more Black Hat. This is my first time going to Black Hat, and I would say it's more corporate. The people here are more practitioners, more of your technical people. So that's one of the things I love. I mean, there's a good variation of people at Black Hat because you'll get corporate types, a lot of different people, sales, marketing, and vendors and stuff. But when you get over here, it's just more, more of the hackers and the technical folks. But it's the culture, the friendliness of it. Everyone's just welcoming and glad to see each other. And a proper theme for this homecoming. It's really more like a family reunion. It's just getting to see people that your community is like your family, getting to see them for the first time, since 2019.
Yeah,
and
I'm gonna
Chloe,
say,
go for it.
It's so nice. It's so nice, but I think one of the hard parts is like, I love the mask mandate, by the way. So when this comment is not against that at all, but you don't know who is who when you walk in the hallways. So you have like this sense of your own identity. So I feel safe, and I love it because I get to like, no one knows who I am. I'm just walking through, and I love that. But yeah, it's hard because I also want to see everyone that I haven't seen for so many years, but it's hard to know who's who with the mask on.
Well, I'm going to take this opportunity because I think we've said this story a few times, but these two, Chloe, and how we met Phillip, and that was at the RSA conference. And from there, we've kept doing things together, staying in touch, creating podcasts, and honestly, we have seen you expand your fan base so much, and all the things you're doing. It's inspiring for us, and we're honored to have you in the ITSP family as well. So good memory right there, thinking about.
Yeah, it's a great memory.
Yeah, it was at the Mint, San Francisco. It was great.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And to remember back to that, I just ran into one of my former students and someone from the Dallas community that I think maybe that she's like in her early 20s, just really amazing person. Actually working a master's program, but one of the pens you gave me to give my student, one of your ITSPmagazine pens, I gave it to her, and she's done such amazing things. She's running our local DEF CON group in Dallas. She's speaking at conferences. She's volunteering and just doing great things in the community, inspiring others, and just so amazing to see a young woman like that really doing so well. I look at my career, it took me so long to get to where I'm at, but to see people that young kind of starting out, not being scared to speak in public and all that stuff. I mean, one of the coolest stories I had was her first B-Sides talk was in Austin, and Chloe was actually there, and Jason Haddix was there, but the AV equipment wasn't working for Macs, and she did a talk on game theory used with security. Her Mac wouldn't work, so she went to the whiteboard and whiteboarded it out. I mean, someone in their early 20s, if the stuff wasn't working, I don't know what I would do. I just look at my slides, but she just thought, okay, improvise. It's really great.
That's cool. And speaking of speaking, Mr. Speaker, you've been doing a bit this week, and I think you have a few more sessions going, if I'm not mistaken, at a couple of the villages. Give us a rundown of what you talked about and who you spoke to.
So far, the other day I spoke at the second day and last day of B-Sides Las Vegas. I did a talk on pen testing experience and how to get it, because my pen tester blueprint book, I touch on some of that, but this really more focuses on just how to get that type of experience, some things I've learned about since the book. So it was really well received. Kathleen Smith, that runs the Higher Ground Village there, is more of a career type village. So there's some really great things that she's doing for the community. Spoke there. And yesterday I did a sponsor talk for my employer, Cognito. And the talk there was on attack surface management, some of the gaps, how to improve upon those gaps, as well as using the Cognito platform to help make that more easy to eliminate those gaps. And tomorrow in the adversary village, I'm doing a talk on that's basically more or less the threat actor philosophy and mindset. So, kind of knowing what the enemy is and how that's important to blue teamers as well as the offensive team, knowing how to emulate those threat actors, and being a defender, be able to understand those threat actors to be able to protect against them.
Yeah, it's hard to pick which village that would fit in.
Yes, it could have been the red team village too, but yeah.
Nice.
Well, talking about village, Chloe, you were just doing a great session with one of the village, which is, I think, is a very unique village. So tell us about that.
Yeah, so the Girls Hacking Village is happening over in Flamingo and Virginia 3. And I got to talk with Tanisha, and it was really, I think the most interesting thing was that the podcast for it basically came out this week about her getting excited and getting everything going for it. And then today I talked with her, and it's day one of it. So it was just fantastic to see her. And I got to see her in person. I went there earlier to just see if I can record from there. And I was like, okay, we need to at least have one person with stable, like, Wi-Fi of some sort and less sound, because it was packed in there, which is a wonderful thing to see. But yeah, awesome village to check out.
Yeah, we've had that experience where I don't know if it's just the number of people in the villages eating up the bandwidth, but getting a good signal from the villages has been challenging. So we have a couple more villages we're going to talk to today, and hopefully we can get the streaming going.
Nobody wants to go on the wall of sheep, right?
That's right.
No one does. No one does.
You walk by and hope you're not in there.
I have a question, and this is for both of you because you're so involved in the community. And Phillip, you were talking about how when you started, it takes a lot of time to be well known in the community, and you really had to go to this event to say, hey, I'm here, let me introduce myself. But now you have all this posts, both of you like, oh, I got to meet this person, but it's a friend already, or it's somebody you've mentored remotely or whatever. So do you see this as an easier way for people to take advantage of social media and the virtual community, the Discords and everything, even enjoying the conferences digitally? We just had a conversation not too long ago with a girl from India that she was following the whole Black Hat event remotely. So is there a good and a bad of these social media connection and podcasting, or is it all roses and champagne there? Phillip, what do you think?
I think it's synergistic, and one of the things too is connecting with people. One of the things I do is I connect with people on Twitter and LinkedIn, and then we get to meet in person. And so from them seeing you on social media, they're able to recognize and help you connect, because there are some people you connect with that you'd have to just kind of see them to realize who it is. And so using social media and those other platforms are great. And one of my favorite ways of networking is conferences. That's my favorite way. It's just there's nothing like connecting with people in real life. You really can't feel that connection virtually. But when you meet people in person, you can really feel that connection. And I really like that. So I think it's kind of a synergistic effect, and it was really great to have that, especially during the pandemic, because I would have went crazy because, I enjoyed going to conferences. That's one of the things I do for fun. And when that was taken away, if it wasn't for virtual, I'd have been a very depressed person.
I mean, do you see my hair? Look, I'm going crazy here.
At least you got hair.
Was not as when I was much younger, but it's okay. I'm happy with it. Chloé, same question, but with the diversity and inclusion on it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's do this.
Is it helping?
I want to say that it really depends on your intent, just like on everything, right? When we're trying to decide who's malicious, who's a hacker, it's based on the intent. You use the same things, but it depends on the intent. I think that if you're using it for social good, when you're not doing it for your own needs, but you're doing it in a way where you're giving back to the community, especially if you have a voice, you could be an advocate for change, and using your platforms to do that is what's needed. So if you are in a spotlight, start helping out more. Start really sharing, resharing, whatever is needed to really make sure that people feel like they belong here and know of resources. So I use social media to share resources or things that I think that the community should know about. Any way that I can help people, no matter what their background is, that they have the opportunities, they know of the resources. Because I remember my first year joining InfoSec, and I was not really introduced to basically Twitter, InfoSec Twitter. I wasn't introduced to it till almost 1 year in. But then when I got introduced to it, then I learned of different groups that are supportive of people with my background. And that changed everything. It made me stay in this field. It made me connect with like Phil. It made me connect with so many wonderful people that made me feel like I should stay. And I think that's the thing. Social media, it really depends on the intent you use it. But when we use social media in a sense where we attack each other or we make comments based on a miscommunication or projections, and we slam people when they're just trying to do good, you know, it's one of those things like you don't have to publicly shame someone, DM them instead. So I think those are the things that we can learn is how to be better on social media. Be like, for example, just have this. This is like the perfect way. If it's not something you would say to someone's face and you don't have that feeling to do that, then don't do that publicly on social media. Be a human. There's another human on that other receiving end. But yeah, social media can be totally meant for good. It depends on the intent of the person and what they're posting and how they're also interacting with others.
Yeah, and I was talking with Tracy Malif, InfoSec Sherpa last night, and she was recapping. I think it was one of the final points from Chris Krebs' presentation, and I'm going to paraphrase it: "No assholes."
Yeah.
Right. There's no tolerance.
That's a great one.
No tolerance. There's no room for that here, and we have to work together and shore each other up and help each other out. And yeah, fortunately, I think my experience has been that, but perhaps it's the limited group that I hang out with when I am in Vegas at Black Hat and DEF CON. Maybe I don't put myself in harm's way with regard to that, but it's easy to get mixed up, and those people exist, and it's hard to deal with when they serve it. And sometimes, and I've seen messages of people saying, this person I had respect for, and then I heard on the side as I was standing there next to them, this comment being made that totally shocked me, and I didn't expect it. So even people you think you know have a tendency to stray and fall off the tracks a bit. So, and in that case, I don't know, compassion to some degree.
But you know what? In the long terms, being nice and not being an asshole. I'm bleeping myself here. It pays off, and I think you can tell it. You know, in the long run, when you don't fake it just to, you know, like I always talk about diversity and inclusion. Like don't do marketing on diversity and inclusion. That pisses me off. And don't do marketing on other things that are relevant like that. And keep to be yourself. And in the long run, you're going to know it if somebody's been faking it or not. I mean, I'll give an example like Phillip. I mean, he has already, 74 podcasts, and he has a line of people that want to go and talk to him. And I listen to almost every single one of that, and he is just himself. And Chloé, so are you. And I hope I come like that as well, you know. So
you're not masking. No one's masking here on this call.
Exactly. So that I think that's the lesson, because the real you is going to come out, and you know, there's so much that you can hide. Even if you hide behind a profile picture that smile, and you're not a smiley person, we'll see it. We'll notice, right? So yeah, incredible.
Definitely on that one.
So and just kind of on the topic of diversity and all that stuff too, one of the things I like is I am an ally, but I don't go around. That's not on my Twitter profile. That's not on LinkedIn. You prove it. If you're an ally, people will see it through your actions. If you're a nice person, people will see it. If you're an expert, people are going to see it through your actions, and not, you know, don't say you are and you're not. And for anyone, if you are, just show it in the actions. You know,
absolutely.
Other people. Yeah, prove it. Don't just say it, you know.
Oh, God. I have to admit, like the horror stories that I've heard the past few years of people that have marginalized in this community, the reason that they wanted to leave, or they took a break away, or they actually left the field, was because they had these people that were quote unquote mentors for them, but they wanted something in return, or they used them to prop themselves up higher and kept saying like, this is this woman that I helped get her start and career. But in reality, behind scenes, he wanted to date her. And these are things that have happened. And so, yeah, Phil is 100% spot on that. When we have people like, I'm an ally, or, it's like, I want to see actions. I don't want to see words anymore. I want to see actions, because now every time someone says they're an ally, for some folks that might be triggering because of their experiences, because they see these people on these platforms being allies, when in reality behind scenes, they're doing it for their own greed.
Yep. And
well, let me ask this then:
go for it,
Marco, because putting labels or not putting labels. I'm just wondering, and maybe Chloe, this goes to you. How does one then present themselves as willing to help?
Say, for example, I'm Sean Martin, and I'm here to help, form, connect, do whatever. What do you need? What do you need? Like, at the end of the day, when you go up to someone, you're like, how can I help you? What do you need? How can I connect you with these people? That's being an ally. Being an ally is someone who is not stating
in the title of
all over the place, that I'm an ally. Ally is a being of, wanting to make a difference, a change, and knowing that it's not for your own way to build clout at the end of the day. I don't know, Phil, if that's how you see it too, but for me, it's just like, just go up to someone and be like, hey, how can I help you? Who can I connect you with? That's how you be an ally.
I totally agree. And one of the things I do in a lot of my talks, especially when it's on a how to get in the industry or career help type thing, a lot of times I always say, if you need a mentor or someone to talk to, send me a DM on Twitter or LinkedIn. I'm happy to have a Zoom call with you and help you. And if it's something, I don't know, I've had a lot of people want to get in other areas of cybersecurity I didn't know about, but we'd connect and I would share resources with them or people that do know how to do it. So I totally agree with what you're saying.
Yeah, and this is a good point too. We can't do everything ourselves, right? But to having that network that you've been in the industry, or you've been doing, I don't know, a ton of podcasts or gone to a ton of conferences and mentor a lot of people, or being involved in the community. I think I'm kind of embracing everybody here. I think it comes with a big power that we don't understand that we have. And I'm not trying to be Superman here, because I'm not, but I say that to everyone. I wish I had the audience that a lot of other people have, but what you need to be responsible of is that even if I think one person is listening to me and I can change that person feelings and attitude towards this industry or anything else, you need to have to feel that responsibility. And when people don't do that or instrumentalize that, that's the big problem, and it's not going to go well. Anybody wants to add on these? Otherwise,
I was just gonna say, like, people, if you want to help, and all that, you gotta get used and comfortable of having uncomfortable conversations. At the end of the day, that's how you have change, is by having those uncomfortable conversations. And I think that's the thing that we have to always remind ourselves. You don't have to share your personal life on those things, but you have to be ready to listen to uncomfortable conversations. So then you're able to learn and see how you can help that person, but also for you to learn from them too.
I agree. And the whole listening thing is really key there. Don't just act like you're listening, listen to what they're saying. And that's really key. That's the best way you can help someone. In some cases, I've run into people I mentored that had some loss in their family, going through something really difficult. I had someone I was mentoring at one time, and we met up around the time that he was going through some marital problems, which led to a divorce. I knew that's where it was going, but I was his person to talk to about his family problems, his marital problems. So he had that person to talk to. So a lot of cases, and that's one of the things I really like about this too. I like helping people career-wise, but ultimately just helping other people is key. So if I can help someone through a hard time, sometimes that's just, that is just as rewarding as helping someone get their first job.
Yeah.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Being there, I know we talked, for example, on the chats on the road to Black Hat, we talked to Stacy Tyre. She was having a conversation about burnout, a Black Hat named Trying to Be Everything to Everyone. Let's talk about burnout.
Yeah.
And then, she made some interesting point about learning how to find the signs of burnout where where you're less expected. Like maybe it's in the bottom drawer because you don't want to see it, right? and these talks are there.
Doesn't necessarily mean that somebody else's signs, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe you need another person to maybe say, hey, are you doing okay? Right. So because maybe you have that self-defense mechanism that, you don't see it. Right. So my point here is the human element. Do you feel like there is something new again in these tracks, in the way that the conference, both Black Hat and DEF CON, are moving? Are we making progress? Honestly, I see your face, but for those that are listening to the podcast, Chloé has something to say.
I mean, it's a sad, I laugh because I'm also like, it's sad, right? Because this has literally been a conversation since before the pandemic, and here we are today. Mm-hmm. And then you have these conversations where people are like, I don't know what to do. We have a staff shortage. Oh, I don't know why we don't have more representation at this conference, or I don't know why we have this problem. And it's like, look around, ask people, talk to people, ask them, how are they doing? How can things be better? That it's so simple. It's such a human situation at the end of the day. And taking action, okay? You listen actively, and then you take action. And if you don't know where to even get started, start talking to other people that are also working on that problem and learn from them, and just continue to learn. You're going to make mistakes. That's when you know you're making change too, by the way. It's when you're going to make mistakes along the way, but you're also learning. Everyone's always constantly learning, and we have to just be aware of that. People are going to make mistakes. Don't get upset at them. Just know, they're working on it. They have accountability. If they have accountability, awesome. That means they're definitely going to make a difference eventually.
Yeah, I think it's kind of connected, Mark. We were on with Saman Fatima from India this morning, and she's a data engineer, started off in DevOps, and has a passion for cybersecurity and 3 different things. But she mentioned she's constantly learning and constantly transforming. It's a continuous transformation. And a lot of that, you can tell she's out seeking this information, but she's also embracing whatever is coming her way too, and taking with her what she can, and being open to those things, and not being afraid to change and take new journeys and new steps. I mean, it's great. I've had 2 conversations with her now. She's incredible, and breath of fresh air is what I said to her this morning. And you can just see that she's not afraid to put herself out there and to be vulnerable and accept change, and to pursue those uncomfortable things for many, probably herself included, to do better for herself. And then she's also giving back to the community and all the things she's doing as well. So, super cool.
Just overall, go for it, Phil.
No, go ahead, Chloé.
Oh, I was just going to say, just a reminder for everyone, the more you learn, the more you feel you don't know anything. And that's okay. It's going to be uncomfortable. That's the reality. The more you learn, the more you're going to be like, wow, I don't know anything. I thought I knew a lot, but I don't know anything. It's humbling and it's scary, but embrace it. That means that you're on the right track.
Greek philosophers said this many, many, many years ago. And I want to connect with Phillip, because I mean, you have people on the show that come from different walk of life talking about changing. Every time I see the title of one of your podcasts, it says, I don't know, intelligent in the military, or somebody that's like doing
Tank
something
driver.
completely different. Yeah, or not even military. I think you have people that do the most disparate jobs before they enter to this. But also, so you always invite people to say, embrace this change. If you want to give it a chance to cybersecurity, there is room. And you don't say, yeah, sure, but show me your qualification in terms of, 5 years experience and certificates and PhDs and all that kind of stuff. But there is also another thing, and we still need to do a podcast together. I'm gonna call you out publicly here when we talk about what do we learn from the student, like as a teacher, what you learn from the student. I think we were on with Tracy, me, you, and Tracy, InfoSec Sherpa, when we talk about that. So I want to know your perspective on this. When you hear these stories, how much it makes you a better or more motivated teacher?
Yeah, definitely. And one of the things, just learning some of the other things from others, and that's the way I've kind of revised and developed some of my conference talks and even my book. There's things you learn along the way, and there's things I learned after I wrote the book, but just taking that advice that I gained from my guests, and I'll use that in new talks that I do, just some of the tips they gave. One example was someone had wrote a blog post on finding CVEs to get experience to get into pen testing, and that's something I integrated into my talk, just learning these different things and the different people's opinions on certifications and their different opinions on how to get started in the industry is really, really great. And one of the things I really like to do is, starting out, most of the people I have are really experienced on my show, but I've really found that people that are just getting started, even some people I've had on that weren't even in yet that were preparing, people learn a lot from those, and they kind of encourage them to get started, because you have someone like Alyssa Knight or Dave Kennedy that are super successful, had multiple businesses. When you see that, it's like a kid trying to play basketball. You see Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan, they can think maybe I'll never be like that, but they can see one closer to like themselves, more relatable, then they see it's easy that they can do it themselves. So having someone to encourage them that way, like having absolute beginners. But then when someone's been in the industry for 20 years, if they're not actively mentoring, they may not really understand what it's like to get into the industry now.
Yeah, excellent points, Phil, and I'm glad you brought that up, Marco. Yeah, I try in the Redefining Security episodes that we pulled together. I try to get people that aren't always the quote unquote celebrities, but those that haven't spoken at a conference yet, those that haven't been on a podcast yet, but are part of a program, right? And they have experiences just like everybody else, trying to bring security to the business. And some of those are the most interesting conversations, because you can see in their head, well, how did I actually do that? Right. And they're not trying to be something they're not. They're just talking about their program and how they experienced it and what they got out of that program. And it comes out very natural. So I love it. And Chloe, I know you have to run.
Yeah.
We're going to run as well.
One quick thing, though.
Yes, please.
One quick thing. If you're attending DEF CON, go to DEF CON policy at 4 p.m. I will be on a panel there. It will not be recorded due to privacy and security concerns. It's the first time that I've ever done this before, this type of panel. And it has election officials will be on there and people from the hacker community talking about how do we build bridges to secure our elections. So go ahead and check it out. I wish I could tell you who's speaking, but I cannot. But I can tell you that list, it's the most, you have to go to see it if that's something of interest to anyone. And it's an hour and a half long, but no recordings are allowed. Photos are not allowed, nothing, because of what will be discussed.
Nice. Well, you always get into the cool stuff and the important stuff, Chloe. So I'm glad to hear that. We've tweeted, or I certainly have tweeted a bunch of things from the Policy Village the last day or two, including today. So check my Twitter, you'll see it, or I think it's just, check my Twitter, maybe Chloe's Twitter as well. You'll find out where it is, but Policy Village at DEF CON. All right. Well, thank you both for being there and for continuous joining us, Chloe and Phil. It's great to see you and all the good things you're doing this week. Keep up the good work. And thanks everybody for joining us for this live stream. Marco and I have a couple more to go, a couple villages and a few more chats on the books. So stay tuned here with us and we'll catch you all later.
Sounds good. Thanks everyone.
Peace out. Thank you guys. Love you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Pantera, the leader in automation security validation, allows organizations to continuously test the integrity of all cybersecurity layers by emulating real-world attacks at scale to pinpoint the exploitable vulnerabilities and prioritize remediation towards business impact. Learn more at www.pantera.io.
EdgeScan offers continuous vulnerability intelligence as a service, accurately identifying vulnerabilities and exposures across the full stack. All threats are verified by cybersecurity experts, providing exploitable risk and remediation guidance, virtually false positive free. Learn more at edgescan.com.
CrowdSec, the collaborative and open source cybersecurity solution. Analyze behaviors, respond to attacks, and share signals across the community for free. Let's make the internet safer together. Learn more at crowdsec.net. We hope you enjoyed this episode of our on-location conversation. If you learned something new and this podcast made you think, then share ITSPmagazine.com with your friends, family, and colleagues. If you represent a company and wish to associate your brand with our conversations, sponsor one or more of our podcast channels. We hope you will come back for more stories and follow us on our journey. You can always find us at the intersection of technology, cybersecurity, and society.